Howdy, friends, fellow countrymen. This is Reverend Oral Fleece, straight from the street, not from the police. I'm pastor of the church of How Big Is Your Wallet? How Small Is Your Brain? We're located right here in Mildew, Ohio, where there are no jobs, not even blowjobs. We really have been hurt by the economy, the liberal economy. Well, I'm telling you, I wanted to spake at you today because you know what's got my panties in an uproar? Hmm? It's this Roy, Roy Moore flap. Now, I know Roy Moore, Judge Roy Moore. I've been knowing him all my life. I mean, him and I went back to school together when we was starting out in our careers. See, it was cemetery school, and I was there trying to get my license to preach, and Roy, he was there trying to learn how to rob graves, to make a living. And so we became good buddies because, we were probably the oldest people there. Anyway, um, we hung out together and, we dated together, and all that stuff, and sometimes I'd date him, he'd date me, if we didn't have a date. You got to do those kind of things, compensate. Anyway, it was Roy. It was Roy who took me aside one day and he told me, he said, Reverend Oral Fleece, he said, you're in a cemetery school, not a seminary. I said, what's the difference? They sound the same to me. I'm trying to get my pastor's degree so I can make a lot of money, man, with that, just making money off of other people. He said, well, you're in the wrong place. And then he showed me how that you spell seminary and how you spell cemetery. Well, if those two words aren't almost exactly like, I don't know what is. Anyway, I was forever indebted to him all my life, Because just to think, if I would have been marrying a couple and I pulled out a death certificate and signed it and gave it to them instead of a marriage license, why, they might have killed me on the spot. And I always, every day I get up and when I'm counting my money, which is a considerable amount, I think of Roy and I bless him. Because he's a good man, he's a godly man. Roy doesn't fool around. I mean, he tells people what he thinks, I mean, he don't like no homosexuals. Yeah, because it's in the Bible, God hates them. God hates homosexuals. God hates a lot of things, so Roy knows whatever God hates. And he'll tell you that, it's all there in the Bible. It's the story of, of, Samora and Galora and Sodom. And it's just a community where just nothing but gay people in there. Everybody in the place was gay, the mothers, the fathers, the children, the babies, the people that come to visit. Everybody's just as gay as they could be, man. I mean, just nothing but fruitcakes in that place. So, God got pissed off and he sent a bolt of lightning or something down there and killed them all. Even the little babies, he just fried their asses. And they're literally the asses, that's what people wrote on. Now, I wasn't talking about, what you sit on. Anyway, the only peoples that was saved was Lot and his ugly wife and his ugly children. And so as they were leaving at Sot, who was a man of God, he said, now, don't ever turn around, wife, and look back. We're going up, start a new life. Well, what can I say? She was a woman. you know. And don't you know it, she turned around and just like that, she was turned into a pillar of salt or shit or one of the two. Anyway, I don't remember exact words, but anyway, so Lot and his ugly daughters, they walked on up and they found this cave and they went in this cave and they stayed in this cave. You know, because they thought the end of the world was coming. They didn't have no social media back then. They couldn't call somebody up and say, "Hey, bud, did you get your ass blown up down there in the hillbilly land? Because we got it all blown up here in homosexual town." Nope, couldn't call nobody. You know, because they couldn't write either, and they had some trouble talking, to tell you the truth. Anyway, the girls, they all got to feeling sad because they said, you know, they were coming to becoming a woman. You know, they were 13, 14, 15, and they had itches, you know, down there in between their legs, you know, and they're thinking, oh, man, there's nobody left in the world. I'm never going to be able to use this thing. Oh, this is just terrible. So they got together and they started doing what women do. They gossip and they conspire, and they got their father drunk. I said, well, we'll get our father drunk and, you know, have sex with him. It's in the Bible, I mean, so it must be okay. And that, sure enough, they did that. And they didn't do it just once. They did it, all three of them did it, and they did it over and over again because in the Bible it says they created a new nation. How about that? So, you know, that's why people in Alabama, they don't, in the South, they don't object to incest and stuff like that. Everybody, them Northerners get upset about it. No, it's in the Bible. And Roy understands the Bible. You know, he understands that the Bible is filled with a lot of hate. Hate for the Jews. Hate for the blacks. Hate for the Muslims, hate for the Mexicans, you know, hate for everybody. And their women's ought to be walking behind you, you know, as they did in the old book. And if they do something wrong, you know, you could stone them, you know, like they bend over and they should be standing up. You could bone them or you could stone them. It's in the Bible somewhere. Anyway, he's a purist, and people been, especially the liberals, have been taking advantage of him for years. You know, it's just a really big shame. So I can see why the peoples of Alabama are going to vote for him, even though it's well known that he's a child sex predator who just terrorized at least 9 young girls, you know, and he was in his 30s and district attorney. But, you know, that was yesterday's news. It's better to have a sexual predator in Congress and the White House than to have a Democrat or a liberal. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it, you hippies. This is Reverend Oral Fleece signing off, straight from the street, and I ain't from the police. Send money when you get a chance, honey. Hell yes. Praise the Lord.